Hey, I'm the cat toy lady, and today is a little bit of a different live stream. I'm going to try to have my normal pep and spunk. Um, yeah, most of you may know since I put out a community post that I've been battling some medical issues, so I kind of feel like Dookie, but I'm good at putting on a brave face. And I just want to be able to share this with everyone. I want to go over decorating the Christmas tree that I put up. Definitely check out the video. It's a cat safe Christmas tree that they can climb on. Um, so far my cats are enjoying it. I'll kind of show you what's been going on. This was a giant version of this. And I woke up in the morning to finding it off one of the top pieces of the tree to minus this curl. It was just beat up. That means the cats had fun while I was asleep. My kids actually came up with putting a little hook on it and it can hang on one of the branches of the tree, and the cats are batting at it. So I'll be going over lots of different uses of pipe cleaners that we can do at this time. And here, let me pull it up on my phone so I'm not squinting back and forth. If I'm actually blind as a bat when it comes to reading at a distance. Uh, so let me be part of this with my phone. That way I can read what's going on. Thank you all for joining me. It's definitely been an interesting month. I made the cat tree video just about a month ago. It was before Halloween, actually, come to think of it. And that was the last time I put on makeup. I've done really anything to myself. Again, health-wise, I'll go over that all after I get through the instructional part of the video. Oh, turn my own volume down here. So here, let's see. Hello, Noah Baker and Jen Coleman. Thank you for joining me. And yeah, so I have already decorated my Christmas tree. I had all these glorious plans. This year it was really planned out. I had like a list of like 2 months long, 3 months long, of all the different cat toys I was going to show you how to make and different ways to be able to do it. And because of my health, it's all kind of like gone in the crapper. Again, I'm battling some kidney issues. If you do not know, well, more ureter, the part that drains the kidney, but so it's made things a little blah. Like, I had so many ambitions of things to teach you, and now I don't have a lot of oomph, especially for doing a bunch. I usually, every week I put out a video, and normally you see the video that I film somewhere between Monday to Friday morning, and sometimes put out Friday afternoon. I do it the same week, and I have been trying to get a stockpile up so I could do some bigger and better things like the Christmas tree, because that took a lot of planning and trying to figure out how I was going to go about doing it. But I'm just kind of going to cram some of the toys together in this video. That way you can all see what I'm doing to decorate the Christmas tree. And yes, I'm using the dollar store, or Dollar Tree, not dollar store. Apparently I've been confusing a lot of people with that. Dollar Tree is where, or yeah, Dollar Tree, not Dollar General. Dollar Tree is where I do most of my shopping for this stuff. I found this cute guy, and I'm watching to make sure that the cats aren't really doing anything to him. He is one that I could technically cover in catnip, and he could become a catnip toy. And he also doubles as a Christmas ornament. But he's so darn cute, I didn't want my cats to chew on him. But they do have toys like this that are actually fairly well put together, that I'm not so worried about the cats destroying and eating. It's, at least my cats. You know your cats. If it's something you think they might try to eat, don't give it to them. Common sense, you'd think. But, so I have these, which hold good catnip scent, that I already have. This was from last year's Christmas video, which is a really simple one. Just they're the extra fuzzy pipe cleaners. A red and a white one twisted together into a candy cane shape. Nothing crazy, but my cat goes nuts over it. She loves the super fuzzy pipe cleaners. She carries them around in her mouth like she just killed a rodent. She she likes to pretend she's quite the hunter. She is not as big of a fan of the metallic pipe cleaners. I hardly ever use them. Um, but since, if you saw the Christmas tree video, I did tie together the tree to the present base with the shiny metallic ones because I had them and they've been sitting around. And now she's all of a sudden interested in playing with them. I don't know if it's because they're just firmly attached and they wiggle around and shine at her. She doesn't like to pick them up in her mouth. It's not like this where she thinks she's a hunter. I think the texture of this is just disgusting to her. But she loves batting at it. So that's where, again, I shared this a few minutes ago, just making these little toys that kind of wiggle and jiggle on their own have come into play. It's just very fascinating. I kind of worried about the small one. I put lots of branches on it, that way I didn't have to worry so much about it folding up and getting swallowed, because one pipe cleaner by itself can get swallowed by a cat. I have helped remove 2 of them, or 3. I kind of lost count. I've helped remove in like 21 years a lot of weird stuff. So you definitely have to be careful with pipe cleaners. I like having them anchored or in big bundles. And again, this and this did look similar for the cat and the kids. So good idea. These can actually be poked into the fabric too and kind of stand up and wiggle around on their own. So that is an idea to do. Hello, Tara. Thank you for your support. I always see when you watch the videos. And let's see. Jen's multitasking with the live feeds right now. Let me kind of show you, since I'm fixing it myself. The twists do not stay twisted. So what you do is you just kind of fold up the sharp little points and double it back on itself. Sometimes you can take like pliers, needle nose, and pinch it together. That way there's no sharp end and it keeps it from unraveling. So a pointer on that one. And then again, pipe cleaners. If you've seen my pictures, these are very similar to some of the other ball toys, fetch toys that I have in previous videos. My cats love anything that bounces on its own, and this bounces and then kind of has that own little wiggle to it on the ground. I have had these hanging from shelves of the Christmas tree, and so far it's been very fascinating to the cats. Because just a little bit of movement and climbing on the tree starts making everything move. And I did, oh, non-rattling. I thought I rattled these. I didn't, but you can put rice in them, just a few grains. So I did the same thing with ping pong balls. It doesn't bounce like the bouncy ball, by the way. But yeah, just different ways to be able to use those pipe cleaners and anchor them so you don't have to worry about them getting swallowed. Let me pick that up with my crazy hair. If y'all notice, a couple months ago I trimmed it all off. It just wasn't working. Another toy I've shown how to do, and this is one that's really good with like preschoolers, minus the fact that you have to kind of show them how to tie a knot. But I've made this at festivals for drunks. It's always fun teaching drunks how to make cat toys. I've traveled around to different schools and we've made these. We donate them to rescue groups in big bundles. You can hear the crinkle. It's got crinkle paper in it. It costs, I think, 3 cents to make one of these, or 2 cents. But these also make good ornaments. I kind of just throw them all over the tree. They're dangling from branches. They're just propped up. My cat likes to carry these around too, like she hunted it. if you've seen my calico cat, she's a very big girl. She's like 17-ish pounds, but not like obese. She's just kind of muscular like a mama. Uh, but yeah, there's certain toys that, like, I would think that the texture of this and the texture of this in the mouth would be appalling. She loves this. I think it's because her teeth can sink through it and it never damages it, but it keeps that crinkle every time she bites into it. She flicks it with her head, like throws it. She paws at them. She throws it down the stairs. So, every cat's a little different. Um, so these are just kind of things that I've already shown how to make that are really easy. This does double as a bracelet too for kids or alcoholics at a festival. Something else that I did throw on the Christmas tree was the catnip ball that I made that rattles. Because of the burgundy color, it kind of, a little Christmassy. It's not red, but it's Christmassy. So that's another option of things that you can kind of throw all over the tree. My kids are at the age that they like decorating the Christmas tree. And of course, my cat likes undecorating the Christmas tree. So it works out. I wake up and I see the kids picking up everything and replacing it all over the tree. They're loving it. I don't know how long that'll last, but so far it has been a daily thing since it's been up. And we do not have traditional lights on the tree this year. I avoided anything that plugs into the wall. I've seen too many mouth burns or just fried kitties from biting Christmas wire. So, dollar store, these are 2 for $1. They light up. They do a little flicker. So they have different colored ones. I went with the Christmassy colored. I have these on each layer and section. And for risk of the getting electrified by the wires, I went with a battery pack of Christmas lights. And it's only for the top sections. That very bottom section, which is the most common one for my cats to get on, I did not decorate in this. So let's see. So I just have these little battery packs. If you're scared that your cat is going to eat the wire or chew on it, so far my cats have not been interested in that, but they were last year interested in chewing on the regular Christmas wire. There's something about that wire that just drives cats nuts. It's something that I know it's not just my own cats, but multiple cats have this need to chew on that wire, even if they're not wire chewers. Sorry, I took my bulb apart. Now I'm trying to work on it as we talk. A little unknown fact, grew up in the Christmas business. Kind of the running joke is my grandfather, who was raised Jewish, made all his money by selling Christmas. Everything you saw back in the, 80s and 90s, like the Macy's tree, just Walmart, Target, all the stores. My grandfather was the wholesaler that imported most of the Christmas throughout the country. And so I grew up with basically every toy I had. If it was musical, it sung Christmas. I had a lot of Santa stuff, a lot of reindeers and snowmen. But yeah, I grew up in the Christmas business, decorating Christmas trees. Right after Christmas is when they kind of tear down everything for the showroom. And between then and the middle of January, you redid everything in the showroom. 40 something plus trees. All were professionally decorated from the ground up again. All the old lights taken off, everything completely redone. It was a lot of work. It was a pain in the butt. I'm now allergic to Christmas trees. Like traditional ones when you fluff them and they scratch my arm. Just that little bit of like a, rub against, it puffs up. My mom had the same problem. Apparently we are allergic to Christmas trees. I blame her. But let me show you an option for, these are from the dollar store. If you see the back of it, sorry, it's hard because I'm on a big iPad, by the way, if you ever see that I glance over. My camera's on the very edge, but I'm in the middle. So it makes it hard to see what I'm doing and not be staring off in the distance, it looks like. So I cut out a hole, which is big enough for this to be able to fit in. And what I'm going to do is, you can leave it bundled how they come and not actually unwrap them, or you can just free shove them in. So shove all the lights in, and I'll pre-warn you, these wire lights do get tangled easily. They're a pain, but they work. So then I just stick it in, making sure all the lights are facing forward, and the light switch is on the back so I can turn it on and off as I want. And then you hang it on your tree. It's cat proof. For the tree that I made, what I did is I've been taking bobby pins, sticking them through the top, and then sticking them into the branches or wherever I want this to hang. So it just kind of holds on, and it clamps onto that plastic sheeting that I used. I used the plastic corrugated plastic. So it's like cardboard, essentially, is the way it's put together, but it's made out of plastic. It's something new that I've been experimenting with. It is pricier than foam board, but a whole lot less flexible. You can reinforce it with the bamboo skewers like I did in the video. So there's lots of different ways to be able to play with it, and I'm looking forward to using it for some other things. I want to experiment with a tall and narrow cat tree. I think that's going to be one of the things when I have more oomph that I will be doing. And yeah, Jen says this would go rolling across the floor. Even if it did, it's contained. If you worry about it falling out, you can just put a clear piece of tape with like a little tab so you can be able to open it as you need to turn it on and off. But it keeps it nice and contained. If you worry about the top coming off, hot glue it on. That way you don't have to worry about cats chewing on it. And one thing that I see people make cat stuff out of that just kills me, and especially this time of year, it's really prevalent. I have been seeing other DIYs, and please don't do it. Do not let your cat play with these little balls. This can be swallowed. It is a little bit bigger than a nickel, not quite a quarter, and they have little metallic pieces on them. They're very enticing to a cat. But if they get stuck on the hairs of the tongue, their tongue, the way those hairs point backwards, it is going to help force it down their throat, whether or not they intended to eat it in the first place. So if you ever use these, attach them very firmly with glue to something much larger. Do not just give these to your cat, please. Even though I have to say, the metallic little pieces that it has, they show up nicely on x-ray, so it does help them find it in the future. The tech in me. And I was going to show you for the Christmas tree, I did have plans on making a video of making little Christmas balls out of this material. See how it's nice and pretty and shiny. I went with a lot of shiny material for the tree. That way it could catch that light and kind of still have that glow that Christmas trees do without the lights that could be so dangerous. So I have this fabric that I found and this shiny one that maybe I'll get around to making an ornament. You know, make something that looks like a Christmas hat, or, you know, little balls, something. I had glorious plans and that kind of went out the window. Oh, Dollar Tree, gold mesh tubing, green, silver, and red. All three colors, Christmas colors, are in stock right now. And of course, that is what I make my wand toys out of. See? Green. And this can be used around your tree as garland. I would say make a whole bunch of the sticks that you can decorate after Christmas, and then just kind of wrap it around your tree and just make a long chain using the sticks in the tree. Should you want to cover up a stick and it still be there, it actually can double and feed back over itself. And you can hide the stick somewhat, just so you don't have the look of the stick if you want. And you can still kind of use it to decorate the tree. So there's ways to be a little sneaky about it. That way you don't have to be like, oh look, I have cat toys on my Christmas tree. You know, make it a little more discreet, even though it is a tree that's made for your cats. Here, let me turn this light off. My kids keep turning all the lights on. And of course, I went to bed last night, was almost asleep, and I realized, they're still on. And these do take AA batteries. And there's like 5 of these on the tree. 5 AA batteries cost a lot. So I didn't want them to burn out all night. Yeah, I think that's basically everything. I do have to show you that you can buy the glittery pipe cleaners just by themselves. You don't have to buy the multicolored packs. You can buy individual colors. I think I got those at the dollar store, at Dollar Tree. If not, I got them at Joann's. That's my 2 most common places I go. So on to the other order of business. Well, I do want to tell you, as soon as I have some oomph, and hopefully I can get a little bit more up because it's not a big project, but I do want to show you how to personalize a cat toy to be able to give as a gift this year or next year, maybe birthdays, Hanukkah, whatever you want. But I'm going to show you how to do personalized cat toys that are printable. So that'll be in the next video. And I meant to bring it down. My daughter has it. My daughter's favorite book. When we're done, I'll put the link below just so everyone knows. But there is a Christmas cat book that I highly, highly recommend. It is called The Christmas Kitten. And it's about a kitten who wishes to Santa that no kitty can be homeless anymore, that all the cats in the world get adopted. And it's a book all about that. It is a children's book. If you've seen any of my posts in the past, like I did a foam toy Christmas kitten last year, and on Instagram I've shared my daughter dressed up at school for Halloween. They can be a book character, you know, not a Disney character or anything like that, but a book character for Halloween, and she chose the Christmas kitten. So I made a full jumper outfit with the horns or antlers that looked just like the Christmas kittens. I made a full outfit for her, so very, very cute. Highly recommend if you see it on my Instagram, and highly recommend the book. You can get it on Amazon. I happen to know the author. She is big cat lover. If you've ever heard of Instacat Mom, that is her. But yeah, every kid that is a cat lover needs this book for Christmas or before Christmas to read going ahead before Christmas. Or if you're my daughter, you can sleep with it under your pillow and just read it year round. She was obsessed for a little over a year with that book. Even when she really couldn't read, she pretended she could read it. Let's see. So Jen's cats have favorite cat toys. They don't even look at the other cats' toys. That's kind of a good thing. It helps with the jealousy issue, and some of the behavioral things that can come from that. You do have to be careful if you have the one toy that your cat will play with. If something were to happen to that toy, it can be, you know, not so great for the cat. I've actually heard cats getting depressed by not having their toy anymore. when you've been in that tech for so long, you see some weird things. And on to why I'm having to take kind of a break and maybe not make so many videos. And if there's all of a sudden a weekend that you do not see a video from me, so you kind of already know what's going on. I, long time ago, like 2.5 years ago, my appendix ruptured. I was sent home from the emergency room twice with a ruptured appendix. I was having gallbladder problems too at the same time. Magically, apparently my gallbladder and my appendix went in the same week. So the emergency room doctors just kept telling me it was my gallbladder. And I went in for gallbladder surgery after a month of the appendix being ruptured. They thought I was going to have just a nice little half an hour surgery. And 5.5 hours later, and two surgeons, they cleaned up all the debris and scar tissue from the appendix rupturing. I am one of the very rare ones that happen to be able to live through it. And apparently some of the pain I was having periodically was the appendix. It ruptured and sealed itself, and then a week later it would rupture again and seal itself. So it was just oozing for a little bit, and then kind of like a cat with an abscess, closing itself back off. Imagine that, I can feel like a cat. So I went through a month of it rupturing and closing, yada, yada, yada. So they knew when they went in that it had scar tissue had wrapped around my ureter, which drains the right kidney. They thought they cleaned up all the scar tissue at the time. I've had a little scar tissue formation afterwards. I'm just apparently one of those lucky ones that gets to make scar tissue after surgeries. So they hadn't thought anything of it. I've recently had some discomfort where I would go to move quickly and it felt like something ripped. And I was just having a lot of odd discomfort throughout. I had known that in the past when the appendix had ruptured and it closed off the ureter, I had formed a kidney stone. And I don't know when it disappeared, but it was only like 2 millimeters. Itty bitty. No one paid attention to it. But, I'd go to a restaurant with the family and I'd drink a lot of sweet tea. We're in the South. It's sweet tea. So, a lot of fluids going in, and then I'd be driving home and be like, oh God, I pissed off the kidney stone. Well, apparently the kidney stone is gone. Instead, I was pissing off the kidney itself. The scar tissue had reformed in one little spot that they could see on CAT scan at the base of the ureter, right above the bladder. And I was having more and more discomfort. I did just get the CAT scan a month and a half ago that showed that my kidney was starting to enlarge just slightly, so they knew that it was blocking. When they went in to unblock, they discovered that the scar tissue had actually was wrapped around that one spot, but it formed going all the way up the tube. My entire ureter was blocked. So right now I have, and it's been, Monday makes 2 weeks since it was put in, I have a stent that has a curly Q on one side, and it goes all the way down the ureter to the bladder, and it has another curly Q on the end. And it's basically like a straw to be able to keep the ureter open and being able to drain the kidney. I started almost a year to the day before the stent was put in having migraines, and I haven't had a single migraine since. It turns out that I'd probably been living with the, hi Nug, my husband's on Exploring with the Nug, if you see him in the chat. I had been living with a blocked ureter for over a year. When it became blocked and it started causing blood pressure issues, because that's what your kidneys do, I started getting migraines. So that was a sign that I didn't recognize, and neither the neurologist didn't recognize it. All my values have been normal apparently even when my appendix ruptured and my kidney was blocked before, never had elevated kidney issues, never even had an elevated white blood cell count. Um, I'm just weird apparently. So that's why this was missed, and it looks like the kidney currently may be okay. I have to get the stent taken out in a little over a week. And then once well, yeah, I guess it's a little over a week, the 9th. Um, when the stent's out, I wait a month and then I get the kidney function test again. And that'll really tell us how things are working. It doesn't work all too well. It just kind of tells you if there's problems when you have a stent in, because it makes your kidney drain. So it's hard to tell on the test if your kidney's draining by itself, basically. So I am going to have that test, and we know that at some point the scar tissue will form back because it's still on the outside. So we know at some point it's still going to be tightening and closing off the ureter. Basically, the whole tube is trashed. The kidney specialist says it has to be replaced or everything just has to come out. So at some point in time, I am looking at one of 3 choices. Here's the fun part. I have the choice of using intestines, and they make a new ureter. Number 2 is using buccal, which means cheek, sample. So they basically make a tube out of parts of the inside of your mouth and replace the ureter. And he said it's the segment that he'll have to replace is about 5 inches long. Or third option is if there is some bit of kidney damage, going ahead and just take the kidney, take the ureter, be done with it. The other one works just fine. So that is what I'm looking at. We don't know when. It could end up being emergency surgery. Hopefully not. I like things that are a little bit more planned out. It is just my husband and I in the area, so 2 kids and trying to balance everything is nice and fun. So, of course, I won't be able to make videos all too often because I can actually tell you right now, the stent goes from here to here. Like, I can feel where it is in me. My back is always hurting. I'm not allowed to lift anything, which makes it fun when you have a Goliath of a cat sitting in your lap and you need to get up. And she doesn't want to get up. I can't just lift a 17-pound cat off me when I'm not allowed to lift anything over 5 pounds. I got to lay in bed a little longer this morning because I couldn't get the cat off me. But so that is kind of the gist of all the chaos that's going on with my body. It's just a waiting game of, is 2020 going to claim the kidney, or am I going to wait till 2021 and see what happens? It's inevitable that there is going to be a surgery, but when, I'm not sure. It just depends on how quickly my body wants to try to seal itself back together. And let's see. Yeah, Jen Coleman says, goodness, not the mouth. I know. The surgeon says that's actually like the new way to do it, the cool, better way is to use buccal material. And I have a lisp. Do we really need to mess with the mouth? Like, I don't need more lisp. I'm good. I'm okay with a little bit of intestines. Maybe it'll take away some of the fluff. And and of course, I've been dieting, and it's hard to do any type of exercise when you aren't allowed to exercise. Oh yeah, besides the fact that I can't lift more than 5 pounds, I'm not supposed to get my heart rate up. I'm not supposed to do anything that exerts me. Nothing that's strenuous to the muscle, because you know your kidneys actually filter out muscle when you have muscle breakdown when you're working out. So can't do that. It's fun being a fat girl and told you can't exercise when you actually kind of want to. You know, it is what it is. Um, so let's see. And yes, again, that is my, my husband exploring the nug. By the way, if you do like, just, I think of it as odd, but exploring with the nug, what he does is he goes into rivers and lakes and just places that people do not normally scuba dive, and he finds what people have thrown in the river. Sometimes there's interesting stories, like he just found piles of jewelry, and we are trying to track down a local man that, well, he's passed away, but I'm trying to find his family. It was a bracelet that had his name on it, and he was a 91-year-old man that died in the 90s, but he had like 6 children or 5 children, and then they all had multiple grandchildren underneath that. So he has this gigantic family, and it's all in kind of a small town and just north of where we are. So I am trying to track this man's family down, trying to see if anyone will answer my Facebook stuff. Just saying, that might be nice. Check your messengers, just because you know it doesn't notify people some of the time if you do not already have a friend request going through. So these people probably don't know that I'm trying to send them messages on Facebook. So, you know, periodically, just for giggles, you all should check your stuff. um, my husband's been trying to help with some missing persons cases. We did a family road trip to Nashville to look for a gentleman that may be missing in a river in his vehicle. My kids know we're looking for a vehicle. Um, so it's a little more family friendly, but my kids know what my husband does. They know that he helps people, that he does river scuba diving. He's found, God, I stopped truly counting when he hit somewhere around 40, but he's somewhere, I think, around 55 guns in the last 2 years that he's found just in rivers. And that's not including what the people that dive with him have also found. That is just what he found himself. So there are a lot of guns that people dump in the river. Imagine that. I'm near Atlanta, Georgia. And this is all in like the northern, most of it is in the northern area, kind of hillbilly. Initially, it's now becoming Atlanta suburbs, but it was very southern areas of farmland, and there's still guns everywhere, and payphones and safes and just odd things. Purses that were stolen in 1987 that had a brick zipped into it, that when we opened it, it was like a time capsule. The only thing they took was her cash, and she was 18 years old. We tracked her down. So there's lots of neat stuff that he does. So definitely check out Exploring with the Nug if you're ever interested in that type of thing. He does work with sometimes with some of the big boys, I guess you could say, even though my husband's channel is not, he's 25,000 subscribers or something. But you know, the people that have millions of subscribers or hundreds of thousands, he gets to play with them. And you know, it's a whole neat community, lots of different things that people find out there. My husband's learning to be able to remove cars out of the river, and again, searching for missing people. He's been helping with several different missing persons cases, using sonar, trying to make sure that people aren't missing in certain bodies of water. Let's see, Jen says, tons of guns that no one would expect to see in the light of day again. I know. And what's funny is he has found so many guns in so many different counties in the area that the cops have actually, they have asked him not to even call them unless that he sees a distinct serial number. So they don't even want to know about some of the guns. And I have a child walking in the room. I am doing a live, honey. And of course, someone with my husband's work is at our front door. It's all right. They can stay there. They'll call him. Okay, ignore them.
Okay.
They have an iPad. Yay, door-to-door salesman. I love it. They can go away. My husband, the sucker that answers the door for him, isn't home, so. So yeah, definitely check out Exploring with the Nug. My channel is growing. I am very, very pleased that I get a little over 300 subscribers a month now. I remember when I was happy to get 3 subscribers a month. That was only like a year ago. So thank you all. I greatly, greatly appreciate all the support. Um, I, once I heal up, I have lots of plans. There are some different types of cat trees and different materials. I want to make stuff that, everyday people that do not have saws and whatnot, or that handyman type of mentality, things that they can make. And then I want to make things, that people that do have some of the fun tools at their disposal, ones that they can make. So I'm going to mix it up. I have, a very fluffy cat that likes to test things out. So not everything holds up as great as I'd like it to. Like some of my scratchers I did early on, like there was a little triangle shaped one. I had to reinforce that when my girl became a little bit thicker. It did end up getting taken apart and made into a prototype for a different scratcher. But yeah, it worked great when she was a kid. So I'm learning as I go, and I try to pass these things on to you. So far, surprisingly, foam board, when reinforced and glued right, holds up a lot better than most people would think. So, if you don't have a lot of tools at your disposal, foam board is a really good alternative. And I think that is everything that I was going to talk about today. Definitely, if there's missed videos, understand crap happens. It's been, what, a year and a half, and I've yet to miss a video that comes out weekly, but I have to just accept it, I think, for the next few months, that videos are going to be sporadic. I will do lots of little things. I don't see myself doing anything big anytime soon, or at least until I have the surgery. Unless, maybe the stent comes out and things calm down for a few months. That would be really nice. I had no idea the time frame of how quickly it's going to close back up. I know that it was probably a year or less before it started to close up, after the appendix ruptured. And right now they know, like I said, the scar tissue still wrapped all around the outside of it. They just unplugged the middle of it. So it's still there. It's still ready to do its thing. So yeah. And I hope you all have a very happy holiday. Make something for your cat. Make something to give away to a cat lover. Rescue groups always need donations. Make toys to donate. That's why I love these little toys. 12 cents to make. It's easy to donate. I have been donating a lot of these. I've been sending them all over the country. Now that my channel got monetized, I actually have a little bit of funding to be able to ship it out. If you know of a rescue group that you think might be interested in cat toys, let me know. I had a lot of people send me a lot of information, and I wrote rescue groups, and some of them just weren't interested. I think they expected that there was some, there, it couldn't just be that they were being given toys. There had to be a catch to it. And there's not. It's just toys to go home in the goodie bag when they get adopted. But yeah. And, I do want to apologize if you saw in the cat tree video how kind of cluttered everything is, and the fact that you could, it killed me. The fact that you could see my lights in the video, it's because the tree was so big I had to back my camera up so far, but my lights couldn't move any farther out. So, you know, I just kind of was stuck with the edge of the light showing, and you could see my storage bins to the side and my other shelf of stuff. My studio is only so big, and with the way I've been feeling the last couple months, I have yet to organize anything. I'm usually pretty good about keeping things tidy and organized and put away, and hell, it's almost hard to sit and look at. Like, it's bad. But, so I apologize for the mess of the last video. I couldn't reshoot it or any of the parts that kind of needed to be, because I did shoot it almost a month before even editing it, and at that point I was sick. When I had my shunt put in, like 3 days later is when I started actually editing that video and getting around to it. So things, they happen. It wasn't as professional of a video as I'd like. Maybe one day, Netflix can pick up a series like a cat DIY, and then I can show you all a nice studio. Things a little bit more planned out. And, like, I have some really cool friends in the cat world that make cool little cat stuff, or I know where to get these cool little things. I can do features on all these neat people in the cat world that kind of people don't know about. There's lots of different jewelry that you can make with whiskers or ashes, and my dog's walking above me and I'm sure you can hear her nails tap dancing on the hardwood. But just lots of fun shirts and art and jewelry and cat toys that maybe you don't want to DIY yourself, but they're really stinking cute. And I have people that are friends that make cat toys. So, it's a big world. I want to expand one day. Got to get my crap taken care of first. That way I can function. And then we will move on to bigger and better things. So I actually am wrapping up now. Thank you all so much for joining me so far on this roller coaster ride. Hopefully your cats have a great Christmas, and so do you, or Hanukkah, or whatever your holiday choice is. Yes, I am going to get through it and be stronger for it. I mean, heck, I already lived through an appendix rupture, which is not supposed to be easily done. And if my husband jokes around again about, so a month ago, or 2 months ago, he was like, oh, what's next? Are they going to have to remove a kidney? Just joking around, because I don't have a gallbladder, I don't have a kidney, I already had a partial hysterectomy. He thought he was being hilarious, joking around, and it's been the running joke for a couple months about me having to lose a kidney. Well, to my husband, and we'll see. But yes, happy holidays to everyone, and stay warm. Now go make your cat some toys. And shut off the video.